Yeah, we are
Okay,
live.
welcome everyone, and hello everyone. Namaste and good evening. Welcome to our session today. We're excited to have our respected Mr. Abir joining us, bringing his valuable expertise to enrich our discussion. Today's live info session is particularly important for students studying in UK who are interested to study in UK. We encourage you to join us and learn from our respected Mr. insights. Let's make the most of this opportunity together. Now, I would like to hand over this to Mr. Abir Utsa.
Thank you, Nirti. Thanks for wonderful, gracious introduction, and thanks for having me once again. Really pleased to talk to you, your students again. And I would want this to be a interactive session. So I would ask anyone who is listening if they have any questions or queries, please feel free to type in your questions, and we're going to answer them at the end of our discussion. So today we are going to give you a sort of comprehensive idea of a student journey, how the application process works, what to look for it, how to prepare yourself. The first thing, I think, for any international students when they're choosing to study abroad, or when even they're thinking to study abroad, there are quite a few criteria that everyone needs to think about. For example, the tuition fee, the scholarship criteria, the quality of education, part-time job opportunities, networking opportunities, and most importantly, after graduation, whether they have uh, any work experience or any work opportunities available. So if you look at all the countries in the world, mainly we look at the English-speaking countries because I think it is true for Nepal as well that from a very young age we are taught this particular language. For example, if you want to study in Germany, you have to learn German. If you want to study in Japan, you have to learn Japanese. So it's a brand new language to study. But English speaking countries, you do not have that additional hassle of learning a new language. So if you ask me, I will always shortlist the English speaking countries. Now, what we need to do is that as a student, you have to do a pros and cons analysis. Like if I want to go to Canada, the visa process is extremely difficult. You have to have 6 months bank statement, source of fund, this document, that document, a lot of complicated things. And the visa decision also are a subjective visa decision. So you do not know, even doing everything right, going through the process for 6 to 8 months, you have no certainty that you're going to get a visa, right? On the other hand, US visa is always very tricky. I always say that it's like throwing a dirt in the dirt. You never know whether you're going to get accepted or not, and they don't give you any valid reason as well. And then Australia is always a bit more expensive as well. Uh, I think, in my humble opinion, I feel that Australia is the most expensive destination right now. Similar for New Zealand as well. Whereas in UK, I think the tuition fee is very reasonable. Within £15,000 annually, you can get a lot of options. Even with the scholarships, it sometimes come down a lot less. Then the course duration for undergraduate, it's only 3 years. For postgraduate, it's only 1 year. So you save time, you save money, you graduate early, and you can embark on your career journey very quickly. And at the same time, there are some scholarship opportunities. And most importantly, more than anything, the visa process is very streamlined. It is a point-based system. So almost, in a way, I should not say guarantee, but almost you can guarantee your visa if you follow mm, the guidelines and requirements. And if you meet those 70 points criteria, you're almost guaranteed a visa unless they call for an interview. But interviews are really not that difficult. And at the same time, they do not call for interviews everyone. If they have doubts, only they can ask for interviews. So almost your visa is guaranteed. And then once you get in, then you have a lot of I think there are other people joining here with my face. I don't know why, but anyway. uh, uh, but if you consider UK, I think UK itself is a great destination, and you have that resources that we have, that resources along with IMIC, our valued partner in the region. You are almost guaranteed for success in a way in your future career. Next is like, what is the application process in the UK, right? So application process is pretty simple. Most of the applications are done online, and in most cases, there is no application fee for UK universities. Unless you apply through UCAS, then you can apply to 5 different universities for undergraduate, but then you have a minimal fee of 23 to 28, depending on how many applications you are doing. And some Russell Group top ranked universities, they might have some application fees, but in most cases, most universities, if you apply to IMIC and through us, there will be no application fee. So you are not spending a single penny for application. I will give you a quick application document checklist. So first of all, you need your passport, you need your academic documents. If you're a postgraduate student, you are going to need 2 references, one from academic, one from your professional workplace. Then you have to write a statement of purpose or personal statement. So basically telling who you are, what are your passions, why do you want to do this particular course, or why do you want to do this part, why do you want to go to this particular university. As long as you justify that, whatever you write here needs to be a qualified statement. And you have to remember that this is the one place where you can actually showcase yourself, represent yourself. So statement of purpose or personal statement is the place where you can stand out from the other applicants. So I personally feel statement of purpose is the most important document in your application pack. Again, if you have any questions in the meantime, please feel free to write down your question in the comment box and we'll be more than happy to answer. And now in terms of deadline for applications, in most universities, there is not a defined deadline unless it's a very popular course. It's like a first come, first serve basis. So a lot of universities, we are assuming for this September, will accept applications till late July, early August as well. But what we need to factor in here is you have to apply, you get an offer takes from 2 days to 2 weeks. Then once you get offer, you have to make a certain amount of payment deposit. Then after that, you have to send your documentation for CAS, which is confirmation of acceptance of studies. After receiving CAS, you can apply for your visa. And for the last couple of months, what we have seen is that there is a big queue in visa application, and it is taking a long time. So I would recommend to get these things done as soon as possible. So if you're looking to join UK this September, I would say right now is the time to apply. In fact, you have to apply by yesterday, if that makes any sense. So you have to move really, really quickly. And since there are no application fees associated, and all your documents, for example, your academic documents and everything should be with you anyway. So, and the other good thing about UK universities is they also offer you conditional offer. So for example, you have all the documents, you do not have your SOP right now, you can still submit your application, get a conditional offer later, and then submit it later to get it unconditional. So those who are watching or listening to this or watching it on the recorded version, I would recommend you to get your application sorted right now. Get in touch our valid partner IMIC here and my dear friend Nyoti, and they will help you out. But you need to place your application right now. So for Nyoti, is there any question, or should I continue to the next part where we're going to talk about the visa process?
Yeah, you can continue. I'll ask you later.
All right. So before I move into the visa process, let me give you an idea about the entry requirement. But please do remember that entry requirements varies from course to course, from university to university. But what I will give you a rough ballpark idea what you are looking for if you're looking to get admission into UK universities. For example, you're going to need Nepal's National Education Board, NEB GPA of 4 minimum. or ADB later grade. Some specific programs, for example, business and other programs, they might also require your GCSE Maths grade B or C, depending on which universities you are applying. For postgraduate students, mostly the universities, except three universities, Kathmandu University, Pokhara University, and Tribhuvan University. Excuse my pronunciation if I've got any of those pronunciation wrong. But as long as you are graduated from all three these three universities, you can get into any UK universities depending on your grades. However, if you are studying from any other university, again, please get in touch with IMIC, and IMIC can get in touch with us, and we can assess your profile and give you an idea whether you're uh, eligible for any courses or universities here in the UK. So the grading scale is very, very important, because in most cases you will see that in the UK entry requirement, they will say you are going to need a 2-1 or a 2-2. What is that? Because I think, if I'm not wrong, Newty, Nepal, these universities use CGPA system.
Yes.
Absolutely. So for any program that you will see, there is a requirement for a 2-2, which is from these three universities, you are looking at a 2.6 GPA. For 2-1 qualifications, you are looking at GPA 3. For first class qualification, you are looking at 3.4. So now I talked about that these particular universities, these three particular universities has this requirement for 2-2, 2.6, 2-1, it's 3, and if it requires a first class degree, then you are looking at 3.4 GPA. However, if you're not from these three universities, if you're from other universities, there's still opportunity for you in the UK, but your GPA requirement would be slightly higher. For example, for a 2-2, we're looking at 2.8 GPA. For a 2-1, we're looking at 3.2. And for a first class one requirement, we're looking at 3.6. So in most cases, you are gonna require an IELTS or an alternative accepted English. So for undergraduate, most cases you're looking at 6, nothing less than 5.5. In postgraduate, 6.5, nothing less than 6. But we have some great university partners where you will also be able to get in with an IELTS of 6 for postgraduate as well. If someone is doing, Ms. Neeti, does Nepali students also do like GCSE, O levels, and A levels as well?
Yes, they do.
So
Mostly they do A levels.
okay, great. So if you have O levels and A levels, and if your English grade is B or higher, your IELTS could be also removed as well. So you do not have to appear for an additional test. Also, some universities here in the UK, for example, ULO and other universities, they have internal English test, which in most cases are completely free as well. So again, get in touch with IMIC, and IMIC works with us very closely, and we can also get you through there with internal English test, which is completely free of cost. You do not have to sit for IELTS, and we can also get you in there. Now, another question I think comes mostly from South Asia is the study gap. So for me, study gap is a case by case. If someone did an undergraduate degree, let's say 7 years back, and now he wants to do a postgraduate degree. So what we need to establish and what we need to know here is that the university admission is more interested, what have you been doing in the last 7 years? And how this particular course is gonna help you go further in your career. So the reasoning behind it, as long as you can explain your gaps, the most universities will accept it case by case, as long as they feel this particular course that you're applying for will help you achieve that. So for if there is any question, again, please feel free to write in your question here, and we are gonna get you through. So once we have placed the application, we have got our conditional and unconditional offer. The next step, like I said, is make a deposit. Deposits varies from university to universities. From £3,000 to £8,000, depending on which course and university we're doing. So once you make the payment, they will ask for your bank statement. So for UK, you are going to require 28-day bank statement. And how much money is required? It's a very simple math. So for example, if you're coming to a UK university, you have to have your tuition fee, whatever that might be. Let's say, for the sake of argument, it's 15,000. So 15,000 plus, if you're staying in London, it will be £12,006 living expense for 9 months. If you're living outside UK, it's going to be £9,207. So you add your tuition fee plus your living expense, and you deduct any deposit you have made. The rest of the amount, you have to keep it in your bank statement. The bank statement can either be in your name or in your parents' name. So it cannot be your uncles, brothers, or sisters. Unfortunately, for UK, Visa and CAS, it has to be either in the applicant name or in their parents' name. They can have a joint account, that's fine, but it has to be either in a student name or in their parents' name. And the money needs to be in there for 28 days. The currency exchange rate that UKVI follows is is a website called oanda.com. So you go there, you find out what is the current exchange rate, and you multiply that, and then keep that required amount in your bank statement. However, my suggestion is to always keep at least 5% fund more, because the currency fluctuate we have been seeing in the last year or so has been absolutely crazy. So it goes up and down, so that because for a single minute, if your fund goes below the required amount, you have to start again from day zero. So you have to start again from day zero to day 28, and only then you can apply for your CAS. Also, what you have to do is you have to do a TB certificate. So you have to do a TB test. So if you Google it, or if you get in touch with IMIC again, they will help you with, there is a listed medicine centers who does this TB test. Usually it is IOM. Then you have to go there, they will do a chest x-ray. So if everything is fine, they're going to give you a report the next day. But if they find something, then you might have to do a cough test. But usually, if you don't have any issues or any history of TB, it usually comes out on the X-ray. And then, but you have to also remember, this TB test is only valid for 6 months. So if you are willing to join this September, I would also say get that TB test done, because sometimes getting an appointment for TB test can be a really, really troublesome work. So once you have your offer, you have made the deposit, you have sent your bank statement, and then if you sent in your TB, in most cases, and also so universities will also conduct a credibility interview, but there is nothing to be worried about this. This is just the university wants to know who you are, why you're applying for this course, are you a genuine student, are you coming to do this course, what is your future career aspirations, just those regular questions, nothing too intimidating. And then once every of these things are done, then you get a CAS letter with which you can apply for visa. Now, UK visa, like I said previously, is a 70-point visa. So the 50 point comes from CAS itself. So once the CAS is issued, you have 50 points, but you have to submit the supporting documents that you have submitted to receive your CAS, for example, your academic documents. Then the 10 points come from your English language ability. If you have done your IELTS, then add that. If you are being waived because you have O-level grade B or C, submit that O-level transcript. Or if you have been if you have attended an internal test of a university and got approved, you also need a certificate of that. So that comes from that 10 points, and then the rest 10 points come from your bank statement. So once you have these 70 points, your visa is sorted. The visa process is pretty simple. You have to apply online. There is a website, gov.uk website, where you apply for your a visa. Then once you fill in all the information, then you also have to pay an immigration health surcharge, uh, which is for per year that you are paying to the UK government 1,035. So once you come to the UK, there is no medicine fees in a way that you can consult doctor, get medicine for a fixed price, for prescription fee. You do not have any additional fees to encounter. So that's why they take an immigration health surcharge beforehand, and then you pay your uh, visa application fees. And then once you get those visa application fee and IHS fee done, then what you do, you book an appointment to submit your documents and give your biometrics to a registered center. Usually VFS does that. And then once you submit and everything, then you just sit back, relax, and hope your visa gets approved. Usually the visa decision gets within 3 weeks, but what we have been experienced, like I said, in the last couple of months, that it is taking a bit longer, so you have to prepare early and then get things done. We have a question I see in the comments box.
Yeah, there's a question, and the question is there any options available for May or June 2024 intake?
There are quite a few options in May and June 2024 intake. For example, there is Greenwich, there is Bolton, there is Bangor, there is Huddersfield. There is quite a few options, but we have to also understand that the timeline is very, very tight. It's already 25th of March here today. So if you have everything ready, your bank account ready and everything ready, yes, you can still get in touch with IMIC and place your application, and maybe you don't have to wait till September. You can get in May or June. Good question there. Thank you for that question. So moving on, I guess. All right. Next is accommodation. So all the universities in the UK, they have their own accommodation. It can be a shared accommodation, it can be a single accommodation as per your choice, and there is usually quite a few price range. I think from the top of my head, the lowest accommodation fee starts from like £150 per weekish, but you can also live off campus. In fact, a lot of students live off campus because it's more convenient and it is a lot more cheaper than university accommodation. Getting an accommodation right now is a challenge, especially if you go to London and want to stay there. But there are a lot of helping sites and a lot of forums, a lot of groups where you can inquire about your accommodation. You can get in touch, and also again, you can get in touch with IMIC. And since I'm based in UK, I can also help you sort you out some accommodation through the help of IMIC. So I think I'm just repeating myself here. Everything you need, you're going to get it from IMIC. So don't delay, just get in touch with them and they will give you a one-stop full service from application support to visa support to accommodation support and everything. And also, as you know, in the bigger cities, the accommodation costs are a bit higher. But if you locate into a smaller cities or smaller towns, it will be significantly cheaper. UK is a big country, so the accommodation varies. For example, where I live, in my accommodation, I spend around 1,500 quid. But if I live in the same accommodation in London, it will be more than £4,000 to £5,000 a month. So it really varies. It will depend on your lifestyle, your standard of living, and all those things combined together. And you have to know what you want and also do your research. And then also, like I said, get in touch with IMIC, and we can definitely help you out with your accommodation search as well. Moving on to the scholarships. So scholarship opportunities, like I said, I think in the last podcast as well, that in the UK, the scholarships are mainly based on merit. So it depends on your merit, your academic qualification. And in most cases, it will be automatically assessed. So in your offer letter, you will get to know what percentage of scholarships you have received. In some universities, you have to apply separately for scholarships, but again, in the offer letter, it will mention the link, where to apply, how to apply. In UK, full scholarships are not that much available. However, having said that, there are some government scholarship that covers the full. For example, there is Chevening scholarship, there is Commonwealth Share, there is Great scholarship, where you can apply and almost get a full scholarship. Usually, the university scholarships are between 3 to 5, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 pounds. Again, it depending on the university. It depends like how much tuition fee and how much is the scholarship. Again, get in touch with IMIC and they can give you a comprehensive idea. From the top of my head, I can say, for example, Bolton University gives £3,000, Bangor 4,000, Huddersfield similar, Greenwich 5,000, and so on. So it depends really on the university and the courses that you're applying for, but all the universities and all the courses will have some scholarship opportunities available. It just depends on how much you're willing to pay and then how much and what is really beneficial for you. Again, another question. Again, you can get into mid intakes if you apply right now by the end of March, but again, you have to have everything ready. So if you have your bank statement ready and everything, you can sort out a TB test appointment, we can still get you in the mid intakes. All right, moving on, part-time job opportunities. Right? So all the students in the UK are eligible to work part-time. So you can work 20 hours part-time legally every week during term time. And when there is off term, for example, Christmas break, Easter break, or summer break, you can work full-time up to 40 hours. I think right now the minimum wage is around 9 or 10 pounds. So you are looking at, if I say it's around £9, so for 20 hours per week, you are looking at earning around £180, £200 per week. And then if you multiply that by 4, so you are looking at £600 to £900 you can earn by working part-time here in the UK, which will look after your living expenses and everything. But you have to also remember, you cannot work here and pay your tuition fees. If you are really, really good with your money management, maybe you can cover 15 to 20% of your tuition fee, but you have to have your tuition fee backing from back home. Unfortunately, UK or any other English-speaking or European countries, in most cases, that you cannot work and bear your tuition fees. And also, if you do too much work, then it will affect your studies as well. And if your results are not that great, then you are losing out on the long-term plan. Because the main plan is to get a proper job after you graduate. And if your grades are affected because you have been working too much during your studies, then you are losing out in the long term. So in my humble opinion, my humble suggestion is to not look for short-term gain rather than plan long-term, get a good qualification, and then apply for jobs when you are there. Next one I want to cover is, yeah,
Excuse me. Yeah, I have a question. Like, what are the regulations regarding part-time work for international students in the UK?
So that's like you can work 20 hours part-time per week during term time. When it is not term time, when it is off term, you can work up to full-time. So off term means when there is no lectures, no classes, or nothing. So for example, Christmas break, Easter break, or during the summer holidays, you can work full-time. But during term time, you can only work 20 hours part-time.
Okay, so like, how can international students find part-time employment opportunities that fits with their studies?
So there are quite a few agencies that help students with part-time jobs. And also, especially, there are lots of jobs within the university campus itself as well. For example, Student Union, Student Center, International Office. They always look out for students to help them out. And they're very flexible in terms of you can schedule your shifts according to your class time. And even in the UK, everyone, even if you work for any retail houses or any odd jobs as well, they are very appreciative of the student. So they understand that what are your class schedule like, so you can talk to your manager. And usually I haven't heard anyone who said that, oh, I will not change your shift because I want you to come to work and not study. So all the and any UK business will be considerate of your class timings, and then they will allow you to work during uh, when you are not busy or you don't have classes and all that. So you will have a good work-life balance in that sense as well.
Ah, yeah. And the next thing is like, as we all know that students like they have got academic responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
So, what advice do you have for international students on balancing their work commitments and with academic responsibilities?
So the main academic responsibility is attend classes. Don't
Mm,
miss
yeah.
your classes. And you will not have your parents or your girlfriend or boyfriend to wake you up on time to go to classes. So you have to be responsible to go to your classes every day. And I
Yeah.
actually have a really simple formula for all the students. So for every hour lecture time, you have to put in 1 hour of your time. So it is 1:1. So if you, for example, today, if you had a 4 hour lecture, you have to put in 4 hours of your own time to study. As long as you follow this 1:1 formula, you are going to be absolutely okay. You are going to pass. But if you want to do well, again, you have to do a bit more. But as long as you follow 1:1, you are going to pass. And I actually say this in a very funny way. If you want to fail in the UK, you have to work really, really hard because all the professors, all the faculty members, the whole university will work for you so that you can pass. So if
Yeah.
you want to fail, you have to work really hard. I don't know what you will be doing.
Uh-huh, yeah, that sounds quite interesting and funny. Yeah, and the next question, like as you told us about the accommodation, so like what are the advantages and disadvantages of different accommodation options, such as university hall of residence, private rentals, and homestays?
So university halls are is gonna be top notch. It's a bit expensive, but you will have a great social life if you like to party. If you will have all your friends, everyone in your age group in the same building, same vicinity. So for socializing, for networking, for going out, partying, I don't know what is the party scene in Nepal, but if you want to party, University Hall is the place. But also it has some restrictions. For example, you have to get in certain times. You cannot invite your friends over at night, and there will be some restriction because you are uh, responsibility of university and your well-being. Whereas if you live off campus in private properties, usually there is no rule because you are your own boss. You may be sharing with few of your friends and whatnot, but and it is a bit cheaper. Homestay is another option where you can live with one of your uh, UK families. There are some UK families that um, accommodates international students. It also helps you to understand the culture, practice your English, and all those help. So all these different options has its own perks. It's about what you want. So, for example, when I first came, very young guy, first year of university, I stayed in University Hall because I partied too hard. And for first year of university, I personally feel that if you can stay and if you can afford university halls, that'd be great. But you have to remember to university halls, the seats go really, really quick. So as soon as you get your offer, you have to apply for it. Otherwise, it will be gone. So even before your class start date, 3 to 6 months before, you have to get your university accommodation sorted. Otherwise, it will be gone.
Hmm. Yeah, so how can international students ensure like they find suitable and affordable accommodation in the UK?
So you have to do a lot of research. Unfortunately, like I said, housing is a crisis here in the UK right now. So my suggestion would be, if you're coming here for the first time, you don't know anyone, you don't have any friends or family, I would go for university accommodation. But again, it comes with a higher price tag than uh, private accommodation. Uh, but if you can afford it, that's great. If you cannot afford it, you have to look for private accommodation. There are usually international student groups, forums on different social medias. You can get in touch with them, or if you know someone who has gone to that particular university before or lives in that city, you can also get in touch with them. And also, if you get in touch with IMIC and us, and we can also maybe direct you to the right direction to get introduce you to a few different people. But again, it's your decision, because it's you who is going to live there and stay there for a whole year, because usually their contracts are for the whole academic year. It's not me or Niyukti is going to stay. So it depends on your preference, your lifestyle and life standard, and then you have to make that decision. We can give you information, and then you can make an informed decision.
Yeah, so I have a few questions regarding university application process.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like what factors should international students consider when choosing a course and institutions in the UK?
So a lot of us are so bogged down with ranking and whatnot. But
Yeah.
for me, ranking should not be your first priority. Because first question, my question would be, there are quite a few rankings. Which ranking are you looking at? If you look at Guardian, if you look at Pines Higher Education, if you look at QS ranking, all of these rankings has different criterias. So you have to look for what are these criterias and whether that is relevant for you or not. But most importantly, you have to look at the course curriculum, the content of the course, whether it is something that you are looking for, and who is going to be teaching them. Who are the faculty members? Are they working in the industry right now? What are their background? So for me personally, I'll be more interested in the course content, the faculty members, whether it has relevance to my future career aspiration rather than ranking. Because ranking can be subjective to various different things and criterias, but my priority would be the course content, faculty members, the facilities the universities has, how good is their career support, how good is their student support services, and all those things, rather than just ranking standalone.
Yeah, like these points are very much important to all the students who are applying for UK. So, the next question is like, what are common deadlines for international students who want to apply in UK?
So, like I said, usually there is no fixed deadline. You have it's first come first serve, but and our understanding is this year they will accept application till late. But again, you have to get your offer, get your cash, and get your visa sorted. So you have to apply right now. In fact, if you want to catch this September.
Yeah. So, can you please explain about the documents that are required for students?
So mostly, like I said, it's going to be your passport, your
Mm.
academic documents, your English proficiency certificate, statement of purpose, references, especially if you're applying for a postgraduate. Usually, two references are required. One is academic and one is professional reference.
Okay. So, is there any recent updates to changes of UK immigration policies?
Well, I'm not Rishi Sunak, so I don't know, but I don't see it's going to change very drastically in the near future, because we have already had quite a few regulation changes, and there is an election coming up, maybe as soon as October. So
Mm.
keep your eyes peeled and get in touch with IMIC. If anything changes, you will be the first person to know from us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, so is there any other information that you want to say?
The only thing that I want to say is like if you're interested to study abroad, UK is a great opportunity right now with the jobs that are going out with the Brexit and everything. There is a great opportunity for international students. And if you're
Mm.
thinking of studying abroad, please get in touch with IMIC. They are a trusted and valued partner. It's a one-stop service for you. They will take care of everything. So just get in touch with them and let's get working towards your goal.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, talking about this scholarship, because like nowadays many students they prefer to go in scholarship, right?
Yes.
So what are the types of scholarship that are available for international students?
So, like I said, there are quite a few scholarships in every university. Mainly,
Mm.
most scholarships are merit based, so it depends on your academic qualification. It could range from 1,000 to 10,000 pounds, depending on which university and which course you're applying for. But mostly, it comes down to your academic qualifications.
Okay. So there's no more question right now. Okay, so
I think I have been very thorough, or I have been very boring, so everyone just dozed off. They're sleeping.
I don't know. Nisa ma'am, do you have any further questions?
No, I don't have actually all the information you have got.
Yeah, actually
All
we got great information.
and to the information is
I
Yeah,
think
pardon?
we can talk a bit about the post-study options, like what are the options for international students once they graduate from their course. So one thing they can do is like they can go to the graduate route, which is after graduation, they can work up to 2 years in the UK. And then if they apply and if they get a sponsored job, which pays them a certain amount of money, they can move to a skilled worker visa. And after staying at skilled worker visa for 5 years, they can get a indefinite leave to remain, which is equivalent to PR here in the UK. Also, if a student wants to start their own business, there is opportunity for that as well. There is a startup visa and innovator visa. Once you meet certain criteria, that can also lead to ILR and PR as well.
Yeah, so what are those criteria like to get the PR?
So, like I said, so one criteria is you have to lawfully continuously stay in the UK for 10 years. That's one route. One route is if you are working as a skilled worker for more than 5 years, you can get a PR. Or if you want to start your own business here in the UK, then you can apply for a startup visa or innovator visa and then again meet some certain criteria. I'm not an immigration specialist, by the way, so don't take my word for it. Please do your own research. But from my limited experience and my research, what I know is that then you have to maintain certain criteria, like you have to make this much revenue, you have to employ this much people, and these are some criteria. Once you meet them, it can also lead you to PR as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for this great information. It's very much knowledgeable for us, for every students, and for everyone who has joined our live session. So I guess we have to wrap up now, right?
Your
Yeah,
call.
okay.
You are the host.
Yeah, because there's no more questions. Okay, thank you so much for joining our live session today. Your participation and engagement are really greatly appreciated. We hope that the insights shared by our respected Mr. Abir sir have been valuable and informative for you. As we conclude our session, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have further any questions. We're always available and you can ask us through Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, or you can also even call. We have already provided you our phone number as well. So once again, thank you so much all for contributing to today's discussion. Thank you so much, Mr. Avir, and thank you
Thanks
all our
again, you. Thanks
participants
for
for
having me.
making today's
I look
session.
forward to coming and talking to your students again.
Thank you so much. It was really great time meeting you and getting this all information again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nisa ma'am?
Okay, thank you, Niti, Miss, and thank you, Mr. Avir, for the great information.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nisa ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, have a good time.
And get your applications in through IMIC.
Sure.
Okay, have a okay.